All right. I think we're live. Are we live now? I believe we're live. Nobody's watching yet. I don't know. We should be vertically live streaming here. I don't know if we're gonna show up on Shorts feeds or not. That was kind of the goal, to do this vertical live stream and then show up on the unlike the YouTube Shorts feed that I saw some people doing, and in general I thought was kind of cool. So that's sort of the plan. I don't know. I have no way of knowing who's watching. I do have a chat feed up at the top, as well as a little icon that shows how many people are watching, but not entirely sure how many people are watching, at least at the moment. But if somebody tunes in, I would hope that they would tell me whether or not we are coming up on the Shorts feed or if this comes up as sort of just a normal live stream. That's kind of what I'm most curious about, if I'm being 100% honest. But we'll stay live. Stay live for a while and see if anybody tunes in. If not, that's depressing. Okay, we're going against a Goldeen Tentacool deck with Starmie. Okay. Just a little Misty box there, a little bit of everything. All good. We start with two Pikachus. Which is very interesting. Let's go ahead and research. They have 4 cards in hand. I think a turn 1 red card might be the play as we draw into an X speed and another research. I'm attaching to the Zapdos for sure. And since we're going second, I am going to retreat directly into the Zapdos so we can start setting up a KO here on this Goldeen. Might as well pop the red card, because why not? I think if they had Misty, they would have played it on turn 1, but I'd rather... I mean, we see 3 basic Pokemon here that all evolve, so I think the red card is always going to be probably the right decision. Definitely the right decision. But yeah, guys, if you're watching the live stream right now, definitely let me know if is this coming up on your Shorts feed. Is it not? I'm not even entirely sure how this works. That was the goal, at least. This vertical live stream, that was the goal, for it to come up on people's Shorts feeds. I don't know if that's necessarily what's going to be happening here, but Tails, and his attack does nothing. Seeking is very interesting. I mean, it really is. Do we want to bench this? I think we probably want to look for a Pikachu instead of benching another Zapdos, an X speed, and then a Pokeball. Okay, so this is definitely going to be the Pikachu now. A Pikachu at least, which is good. No Sabrina in our hand, but that's not the biggest deal. We have an X speed. I'm just going to start attaching to the Pikachu. We live at least 1 hit from the Seeking, so I'm going to go ahead and just attack with Peck. That's what we're going to do here. That is what we're going to do. I'm going to actually just comment here. All right. I don't know. If this is live, then I don't know if people will see this necessarily. This view counter doesn't seem to be working, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Yeah, that damage is a little bit tough, I'm not going to lie. 80 is a lot. 80 is a lot for 1 energy. Seeking's kind of crazy. I know it's like a 50-50 chance to do 0 damage, so on average it's only doing 40, but 80 is a lot on a stage 1 Pokemon. I mean, it does... That's crazy, honestly, for 1 energy. But in general, this card is bad. Seeking is definitely not a good card. YouTube is telling me 4 people are watching. I don't know if that's the case or not. I would like to see if any of these sort of widgets are working. The view counter thing wasn't working in its own right, so I wonder if like the chat thing works. If not, I'll have to get rid of it. But yeah, if you guys are watching, shout out to you. Shout out to you. All right. Okay, so all we see is a bunch of tentacles. We see a couple tentacles and Starmies. I'm not too concerned about what I'm seeing here on the board, if I'm being honest with you. I'm pretty sure we're just going to be attacking with this Blade Master. Confirmed alive. Yo, shout out to you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I have one question to ask you. If by the time I say this in the chat, if you're still here, that is, are you, did this come up on like your shorts feed, or is this just like how are you viewing this on YouTube? I'm curious. I haven't really live streamed the vertical way before, so I don't know exactly how this is like coming up on YouTube. That's sort of my main question here. So if you could let me know, that would be highly appreciated. Also, let me know how the audio is. Is the background music too loud? Am I not loud enough? Feedback would be appreciated. But thank you for tuning in, my man. I really do appreciate it. Always say thanks to our opponent. Not always, but when we win, we do, right? Let's play some more games with Pikachu. It is the best deck. Pikachu and Raichu is the best deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket. I'm going to be playing a bunch of decks, but we're going to be shuffling through them. Yeah, I wanted to try to go live and see how this works. I saw some people like on my own shorts feed that they were live and it was coming up sort of as a short, video, and I thought that was really cool, so I figured I would try it. But don't know exactly how that works, so be interested to see. Would definitely be interested to see. Yeah, okay, so the chat thing I don't think is working, so I'm just going to get rid of this. There we are. Okay, cool. We're going to bench the Zapdos. Looks like we're also going against another Misty deck with Frostmoth. Frostmoth is very, very annoying. Very, very, very annoying. As we draw into the Pikachu, we have Raichu in hand, which is nice, and we're going to set up our bench. Going first isn't great, but again, I'm not particularly threatened by the Snom in the active spot, but can be threatening, that's for sure. I'm not going to bench the second Pikachu yet. We don't need it. Yeah, it comes up as a live in my feed when I opened it. It's in a short vertical video, if that makes sense. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. So I wonder if okay. I think that explains my question, which I appreciate. Thank you, Blade Master. I really do appreciate that. Audio fine, background music is a good level. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Blade. I really do appreciate you, man. And yeah, like I said, thanks for tuning in. I was mainly just curious. I didn't know. Did he not attack last turn with Snom? It's kind of weird. We're just going to pass. Nothing much else to do. But yeah, I was kind of wondering from like a discoverability perspective how it was going to work. I'm hoping that people sort of find the live stream, people that aren't subscribed, or if YouTube doesn't recommend it, sort of just flipping through like the shorts videos, because I heard at least that it was a good way to sort of discover people. So that's kind of what I was primarily interested in. So I'm just gonna be chilling. I don't know how long we're gonna be going for. We're just sort of trying it out. But yeah, man, having a good time playing some Pokemon TCG Pocket, as we typically do here on the channel. Okay, so he does evolve into the Frostmoth, attack, and put us to sleep. We flip heads, though, so that is A-okay by us. We don't have a potion in the hand. We see the red card. The Omninate's already evolved as well. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to bench this Pikachu just so I can take the KO on this Frostmoth, because I think it's weak to metal type, steel type, yeah. So not that it would matter anyway, but yeah, we're going to have to bench that Pokemon to take the KO here. The Omnite, if he evolves this, it's kind of scary. Although the attack for Omastar, is it 2 energy or 3? I honestly forget, but I think we're probably safe this turn unless he just happens to have Omastar in his hand. This deck can be super annoying. Very, very annoying deck to play against Omastar if they get set up here. Okay, so we see the Pokeball. I like this as in terms of single prize decks as it goes, right? You have the Frostmoth and you're kind of trying to stall out while you get your Omastar set up, and then from there, you kind of do the shenanigans that way. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna see him go back into the Snom and just maybe do some chip damage. He wants to keep this alive because that's sort of the point of this deck. Blade Master, no problem. Just watched your last video on Articuno EX variants or variations. Keep it up. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for for watching the video. We draw into the Sabrina, which is hilarious. He's probably gonna quit after this, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been trying something new with like every video that I upload. I haven't uploaded too many Pokemon TCG Pocket videos, but I'm planning to upload a lot more as time goes on. And I just recently figured I would try to do the webcam, incorporate like the face cam into it. That way people could kind of see me while I'm making the videos, while I'm sort of playing the game. I think it maybe is better that way. I'm not entirely sure, but the how-to videos seem to do better than the others, and I think that probably makes sense, right? I think people are kind of curious about, you know, what the different versions of deck lists are, and what people like to sort of run specifically for the you know, any particular archetype. And there's been a lot more variation with the Articuno archetype recently. I think a lot more people are sort of incorporating Greninja and other cards into Articuno, whereas before it was just sort of Articuno Starmie, and nobody really knew like what the better way to be playing that was. And it's actually had some pretty good results recently. It's kind of settled in at like the 3rd or 4th most common deck. It's not sort of up there with Pikachu or Mewtwo, of course, in popularity, but it is a strong deck, and Greninja can be really good. So I thought it was somewhat interesting of a topic, at least to cover. So, but yeah, I appreciate you watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely seen you. I think you might have commented as well on some of the videos, so I've seen you around. If not, I do recognize the name Blade Master, so I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you tuning into the chat. It's very cool. It's cool to have you hang out. But yeah, like I said, kind of just recently started uploading videos to YouTube again, so you know, just trying to build that relationship, I suppose, with people and the viewers. This guy's just sort of left the game. He's just gonna let me wait it out, I guess, as I take a drink of water. But Pokemon TCG Pocket's really fun. I think a lot of the people that are watching these videos that I'm making on Pokemon TCG Pocket probably didn't watch my channel beforehand, where I was making sort of content primarily on just like the standard competitive Pokemon TCG, and I did that for a little while, and that's kind of where all the subscribers that I have to my channel come from. But yeah, I took a long break from YouTube, and then I figured Pokemon TCG Pocket was really cool. It was really fun, so I wanted to get back into it. So it's been good. I've had a good time with it. I think the game's really fun. I think it'll really open up when more cards get released and the new expansions sort of come out in the game. I know some people were kind of turned off at like the gacha mechanics. Let's swap decks here. What do we want to play? Let's play Blaine's. I think people like the Blaine's decks. Yeah, people were a little turned off at like sort of the money spending aspect of the game. Not that you have to spend money. It is a free to play game, but you know what I mean. Like, it's kind of a gacha game in that sense, where you spend real money to kind of get the cards. I think some people were turned off by it, but I think for most people that were sort of looking to play a game like this, I've had a good experience, and I have as well. I've certainly spent some money on the game, but you know, it's been fun regardless. Okay, so we have the Ponyta and the Rapidash in the hand, which is cool. So some early damage. Were we going first or were we going second? I didn't actually see. We are going first. Okay, no big deal. I'm gonna research before the Pokeball because I would rather get a Vulpix on my bench. We draw the Ninetales and the Vulpix, so seems to have worked out pretty well for us, I would say. Oh man. Blade Master, I used to watch your channel when I was playing the original Pokemon TCG game on PC back in the Mad Party deck days. Yes, sir. That's awesome. That's super cool. I knew I recognized you. That's awesome, man. I love how you're sticking around. That's really cool. Like I said, I assume most of the people that have sort of tuned in or watched these videos are maybe not the same people, at least the majority of them. That red card is really annoying. Let's see if... did I forget to attach an energy last turn? Oh, no, I was going first. I assume most people are probably new viewers or people that didn't watch previously, which is totally cool, for sure. But really cool to see that you're sort of a long-time viewer, which is awesome. Very, very awesome. I wonder, Blade, did you ever play in any of the tournaments that we ran back in the day? Did you ever participate in any of the chill TCG tournaments? Okay, so we have a Giovanni. It might be worth just hitting the Giovanni here. Although it doesn't, I think we're probably gonna hold the Giovanni. I don't think it's worth playing it actually at the moment. If I'm being 100% honest. All right, we'll start chipping away at this Mewtwo. not super likely. We want a Sabrina just to sort of attack this one on the bench, right? Because unless, yeah, I mean, technically there is a way where we win this game, isn't there? Yeah, I mean, we just drew another Vulpix, so that's good. And like I said, I just don't think it's worth playing the Giovanni here. The math doesn't work out unless we draw into a second Giovanni. I think it's probably better to hold it for the Ninetales. Actually, no, I'm not gonna hit it. I'm not gonna play yet. We're gonna see what we draw into consecutively. 5 people. It says 5 people are concurrently watching, which is pretty cool, honestly. I wasn't sure if anybody would be tuning into this, so if you're watching this, I really appreciate it, guys. What's going on? Feel free to talk in the chat. I mean, you don't have to, of course. Feel free to be a lurker. That's cool. We drew onto the Blaines, and I think we're probably going to do that to take this KO. The problem is this other Mewtwo is going to be a big issue for us, but we're just going to go ahead and knock this guy out here. Waiting another turn was probably ideal, but he could have had 2x speeds in his hand by now. Blade Master, nah, just played more casually. Great tournaments, though. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's cool that you were engaging in the content, but you were, you weren't participating in the tournaments, which is cool. You know what I mean? Like that's cool. That's cool. I appreciate that. You know, certainly, I'm sure a lot of people that watch the YouTube content were participating in like the tournaments that we were running as well. But it's cool to know that that doesn't necessarily have to be the case, right? I wonder if we have a chance to win this game going first. I wonder. I think it would require us to... Okay, that research is really good. We definitely just attached to the Vulpix. There's no need to invest energies into the Ponyta yet. The Giovanni's here could be important. The thing is, we're safe this turn because he doesn't have anything on the bench. Like, I'm pretty sure we just win. If I'm being entirely honest here. I don't know what he can do. 11 people are watching right now. Holy cow. What's going on, guys? Shout out to you. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Don't forget to smash the like button. Smash that like button. Let YouTube know that more people should be watching this live stream. Yeah, he conceded. Look at that. Wow, Blaine's deck for the win. Shout out to the Rapidash Ninetales. That's awesome. This deck is fun. I like single prize decks. There isn't enough viable single prize or you know what I mean, like basic Pokemon archetypes right now in in Pokemon TCG Pocket. I think more will come. I know we have Blaine's and we have Weezing, and Raichu is a thing, but most people, if they're playing Raichu, they're playing it with Pikachu. So same with Weezing. Most people that play Weezing, I think, play it with like Wigglytuff and other, and other sort of EX cards, which is totally fine, of course. But yeah, there's just not enough like single prize decks. It's an important aspect of the traditional Pokemon card game, right? Especially like back in the day when there was decks were like exclusively like 2 and 3 prize cards, the Pokemon that you were using in decks. Like, it's a fine line to have a really powerful deck that doesn't have any, Pokemon that your opponent takes multiple points or multiple prize cards in the KOs. But when there's a viable deck that has that type of a build to it, it's very, very interesting. Okay, so this is tough. This matchup is definitely not good because Articuno 80 plus 10 or 20 actually is enough to like KO most of our Pokemon, which I don't love. I don't love that, actually. They can one-shot everything. So going first here is also not super ideal. We have 2 Pokeballs, so we're probably, I should say, we're probably going to draw into the Ponyta, which we will for sure, which is good. We're going to need to draw into that Ponyta so that we can retreat right into it, because we could very well get red carded here. So I'm just going to pop the X speed now. I know we could get Sabrina early on, but chances are he has Misty in hand, and chances are he's going to flip like 6 heads on Misty. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? Well, I did just make a video on Articuno EX, so I know all about it. I know exactly how this deck can pop off. Sometimes he is going second as well. But yeah, when I'm playing against Articuno and Starmie, I just don't want a Misty turn 1. Like, whenever I see Misty come out turn 1, I'm just like, I'm almost ready to just turn it off, you know what I mean? And here it comes. They always tend to have it. Like, you always have this card starting in your hand, which is crazy. So let's see. Even 1 heads would be terrible here. Yeah, well, it's 1. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's not great. I'll be honest with you. It's not great just because, yeah, super effective. It's a worst case scenario, basically. is what just happened here. Do we have a win condition? I don't think we do, basically. He went second, and so he's up 2 energies on me. There's just no out, I suppose. Jeez. Let's see. Yeah, because Ninetales doesn't live in attack either, so there's no out. Because like, even if I attach here and go for Tail Whip, I guess there's an out. I guess technically we can make it happen. So that's what we're gonna try to do. I guess we're gonna just flip a bunch of heads until we get set up. That's it. That's all we have. Let's see. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm not saying there's not a chance, because there's a chance right now. But we had probably the least ideal start imaginable. The worst possible start we could have in this matchup. And he's got the Greninja. Once he sets up that Greninja, there's actually nothing we can do, unfortunately. But if we manage to... Okay, there's a Blaine's. What do we have to do to win this game? We have to flip, I think, 3 heads in a row. We also need to draw into a Ponyta. I think that's literally what we have to do. So, and that's a Tails. Yeah, okay. That's the game. That's an L. We took an L here. Not ashamed of it. I mean, he flipped 2 heads in a row. I only flipped 1. He went second. I went first. He's playing water. I'm playing fire. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? What can you do? And there's the Greninja on turn 3. So, yeah, we're gonna cut our losses here and go on to the next one. Go on to the next one. You beat Mewtwo, you stomp a Mewtwo, and then you lose to an Articuno. Such is life, man. That's the that's how it goes. I'll say thanks to him. Whatever, man. Yeah, enjoy your Misty head flips. Enjoy that. Hopefully he watched my video. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. All right, we'll play a couple more games of Blaine's, of Ninetales and Rapidash. It's a fun deck. I enjoy playing it. It's always nice to just hop on and play some games. We're going second. It's always nice to hop on and play some games with decks that aren't necessarily considered like the super high meta decks. Things are always more fun that way. I think 90% of the time when I'm playing Pokemon TCG Pocket and I'm playing games, aside from like recording things for the videos, I'm playing a deck that's not really considered a meta deck. I'm always sort of trying new things out and trying a set of strange cards and strange interactions. Most of it, of course, doesn't work out, and most of it's not good. They're not good decks, but in my mind, it's a little bit more enjoyable. They do have online tournaments. I have thought about participating in an online tournament. Not running tournaments like I used to, but participating in an online tournament for Pokemon TCG Pocket. I just don't know. It just seems tough to basically have to stay tuned in for such a long period of time. That's the only thing. Okay, here comes the turn 1 Misties again. Let's see if we get a heads, and then we get a tails. Okay, all right, we're safe. We're safe. We're safe. We're safe. Oh man. Okay, so we can get set up here. So I'm gonna play Professors first. The reason I'm playing Research first instead of Pokeball is because I would rather draw the Pokemon. I would rather have a higher chance of drawing the basic Pokemon. I just think it's important to get a Vulpix and a Ponyta, like multiple sort of basics off on the same turn. If we didn't start with Ponyta, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But like as you see here, like we don't have any Rapidashes, which is like really tough. I mean, we have 10 cards in our deck, 2 Rapidashes, 1 more Research, so it's like really not ideal. But if we hit for 20 here and he doesn't find the Starmie, we can Giovanni just with the Ponyta to get the KO here. But going second definitely gives us the advantage, especially since he missed the first Misties. Now he has 4 cards in hand. He might just have another Misties. It's totally plausible. Okay, so yeah, we're going to just take that hit there from the Staryu. Yeah, I think he's sort of just banking. It's weird that we run Potion in this deck. I'd have to double check. I'm not really sure exactly what Potion's doing. I wonder, it's probably good against like Weezing and other sort of niche matchups. But yeah, we're definitely going to pop this Giovanni so we can just take the KO and have him go negative energy. -1 energy is going to be really good. Yeah, so he's going to concede off that. Yeah, it's just a pacing issue. You know what I mean? Even though we literally didn't have Rapidash in hand or anything like that, like he could have easily just won that game. I think most people sort of just see that and they go, you know, miss the Misties, like get Giovanni on a KO like early on. It's just not, it's not fun. The thing with Misty decks is, though, you're always in it. You know what I mean? Like, you should always play the next turn, because if you do draw Misty, you know, you can flip 3 heads and then you just win the game. You know what I mean? That's always like an option. That's always something that can happen. So, if I were him, I would have played it out. But again, you know what? It is what it is. We'll play one more. We'll play one more with Ninetales. We will play one more. Hello, Emmanuel. Sorry, I'm trying to pronounce your name, my bad. Emmanuel Francis. Is that how you say your name? What's going on, man? Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you, man. Welcome to the live stream. This is my first Pokemon TCG Pocket vertical live stream. I'm not exactly sure, you know, how this all works per se, and if this is something that's people care to watch. But I mean, I'm enjoying it. You know, I mean, it's late at night, but I think this is probably the time where a lot of people are kind of flipping through their shorts feed anyway. So I figured, you know what, and we probably didn't have to play research there before Pokeball, since we already had 2 full Pexes, but we did it anyway. You played the game too. Hey, that's awesome, man. That's very, very cool. The game is fun. I think a lot of people are playing Pokemon TCG Pocket, and a lot of people are interested in it, because in general, I think it's a fun game. I have had a good time with it. We played like almost exclusively Articuno decks, which is kind of strange for whatever the reason. But yeah, Emmanuel, I really appreciate you tuning in, man. Super cool. I don't know if I've seen you around. I don't know if you've sort of watched any of the content that we've uploaded on the channel. As he misses the Misty, let's go. No Rapidash or anything, or even a way to retreat here. So, I think, did we not play this Pokeball last turn? We probably should have played it. This is an interesting situation. I think I'm evolving the bench Ninetales purely just because I half expected us to get KO'd. But that's fine. It's okay. We'll just you know, we'll just play from here. Not drawing into the X speed or the Rapidash is always tough for sure. But it is what it is. So we're gonna get KO'd this turn anyway. He's just gonna attach to the Articuno, and we'll get some early damage off here. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Yeah, this isn't great. We really just need to draw the Rapidash here, I think. I think that's going to be a requirement. Because next turn, he's going to take the KO. Peter, I used 2 Ninetales, 2 Rapidash, 1 Heatmore with 2 Blaine, 2 Giovanni, 1 Sabrina. Okay, that's very cool. That's good to know. I appreciate you letting me know, Peter. Also, shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing good, my man. We draw a Blaine's. Okay, so here. Okay, this isn't great. I mean, we're dead next turn. Articuno is not a great matchup for us in that respect. But I'm going to go ahead and just hit for 120. This way he gets in range of a Ponyta. The main problem here is the Staryu on the bench. Like, if he draws into a Starmie, we're kind of just in a really bad spot. But he's kind of forced to attach to the active. There's the Starmie. Okay, so he's kind of forced to attach to the active. We have Sabrina in hand, though. So if he doesn't evolve... Okay, this is interesting. Oh, that potion is really annoying. No. Okay, there is a chance that we can win this, though. There is sort of a route here. We just need to draw Rapidash, I think, is really the only out for us at this point. How many cards are in our deck? Let's see. 8 cards are in our deck. I mean, it's somewhat likely. It's probably not likely, but we have 2 Rapidash. I mean, I don't know. We have a 1 in 4 chance, technically. But I think we have another research in deck. What do we draw? We draw the Ninetales. Okay, with the current situation, with the current political landscape, I think that we lose this game. Because Blaine doesn't work for Ponyta. It only works for Rapidash. Unfortunately. So, I think that's it. We'll play the Blaine anyway, just to see that we had it. Peter, what does he say? You have the very cool, totally rare, special series card sleeve back. I do, yeah. So I have the sleeves, this whatever you would call this edition of the sleeves. I have this, and I also have like the playmat, sort of the backdrop of this style. But you basically get it for exchanging or disenchanting, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, the higher rarity cards. If you open enough packs, basically, you can kind of just turn those extra cards that you get into a currency to buy the sleeves and the and then the backdrop, which is, of course, what I did. I've opened plenty of packs in this game. I actually just reached the 3,500 cards opened or collected mark in this game, which is kind of crazy. Maybe when I started playing, I've been playing since the release of the game, to be honest with you. The Pokemon TCG in its own right, I've been playing for a very long time. Very, very long time. But Pocket I've been playing since the game came out. Okay, I'm going to play this Marowak deck. Marowak's very fun. And we seem to be playing a lot of Articunos, so I would like to play a deck that doesn't get one-shotted by Articunos. Preferably, is what I would like. But yeah, Manuval, I've been playing Pocket since the game came out. Tonight I've been playing for not that long. I don't know how long the live stream's been going on for. I'm not even sure how to check. It's been probably around 30 minutes. That's probably not what you were asking, but so we're going first, which isn't great. I'm just going to start with the Mankey because we have Primeape in the active spot. So this deck plays the Mankey, Primeape, the Reckless Charge strategy, along with Marowak. It's sort of like the typical fighting type deck. Peter says, my free-to-play card decks is at 201 to 206 with star rarity cards at 19. Duplicates not included yet. Manuel, where do I live? I am from the United States. I live in New England. In the Northeast United States. Yeah, Peter, that's cool. You're getting there, man. You're good. Yeah. That's pretty good. You're almost at the end. 201 out of 226. I have completed the normal collection, the normal decks. So I have all 226 with a lot of duplicates, I'll be honest with you. A lot of duplicates, but there's the Cubone. So, yeah, so here's the thing here. I don't think we evolve the Mankey right now, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I think we leave it as is. At least for this turn. We could get red carded. Is it worth it, I wonder? He's going to probably attack us next turn. So I don't think we want to do this. Yeah, we have to evolve because he's going to attach that water energy and then he's just going to KO us back. So I think we kind of are just going to have to evolve here even though we can't attack. It's a little bit unfortunate. For sure. Going first is always unfortunate in like every scenario possible. But yeah, we kind of had to evolve there. Because if we just didn't evolve and we attacked with Mankey, we got KO by the Dratini, so it is what it is, I suppose. He's got a lot of cards in his hand. Peter, I started around mid-October for Pokemon TCG Pocket. Cool, okay. So somewhat recently. Well, not recently, I guess. When did the game come out? I wonder. I was a little bit late to the party in terms of like making YouTube videos on Pokemon TCG Pocket. But I don't actually remember when the game came out. That would be a good question, I think. Okay, so I'm not going to play the Giovanni. He knows not to attack me, which is good. So I'm almost wondering if it's more worth my time here to just straight up attach to the Marowak. Because we have next turn. You know what? I think it probably is. It's probably just better for us too. Global launch was in October. Okay. Yeah. So you're right in there. Right in the global launch. I don't think I played the pre-release or anything like that. And here comes the Dragonite. So this is very tough. Now we do have the opportunity, or the ability, I should say, to one-hit KO the Dragonite with Marowak, but he actually didn't attach. Okay, so that's interesting. Why he attached to the Weezing. I'm not sure why he did that, but what we can do here is play the Pokeball and hopefully try to set up our bench to kind of give us a little bit of protection from that Dragonite attack, which I still assume he's going to be using. He has no cards in his hand, and he's evolved most of his Pokemon, which is pretty impressive, if I'm being honest with you. Pretty impressive. Playing Giovanni here doesn't do anything for us, math-wise. So we're just going to go ahead and flip. That's our Tails, and that is another Tails. Woo! Perfect. Incredible, 0 damage. This is the main reason why Marowak isn't a meta deck. Like, in theory, this deck isn't bad. It's just that the fact that there's a possibility for you to attach 2 energies to a stage 1 Pokemon and do 0 damage is really not good. Like, it's really not good. And that is just it's just how it is. So unless we flip 2 heads here, we're probably gonna lose. There's one. I stand corrected. Marowak might be, in fact, the best deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket. In fact, I think this is probably tier 1. I think Marowak might be quite literally the BDIF. I think Marowak's probably the best deck in the format right now. If I'm being 100% honest with you, that was ridiculous. I guess it all evens out, no? Peter, have you tried Greninja with Graplocked and Hitmonlee? It's like a bench attack and Infinite Sabrina kind of plus energy, plus extra 20 damage from the ninja. Yeah, so the Graplocked Hitmonlee is cool. It's interesting. Graplocked is it's a weird deck, right? It's one of those like matchup dependent sort of guaranteed auto win decks, right? We're gonna play the Giovanni here. That way, if we flip one heads, we win. But I have seen that. I haven't actually tried playing with it yet. I have tried Graplocked before, and it just I think it's just a deck that, like, if the combo gets set up against the right matchups, then you almost like kind of win, right? Because it's kind of like a stun lock, right? It's sort of this sort of strange interaction where like your opponent can't do anything. But in some matchups where your opponent can sort of switch out more easily, the deck sort of just can't win. It's one of those weird decks like that, but it is definitely really, really fun, for sure. But I'll have to try it. I'll look into it more, Peter. I appreciate you mentioning it to me. It sounds cool. It does sound really cool. Manuel, do I play Minecraft? I haven't played Minecraft in a while, if I'm being honest, but I do love Minecraft. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite games of all time, for sure. I tried it, but I commit a lot of misplays. Hey, that's part of the game. You know what I mean? That's what it is. You know, we all make misplays, man. We all misplay sometimes. I think, yeah, there's no reason to not stay in. Okay, so we're doing pretty good. We're at 100% 50-50 so far in the match on the coin flips, which, to be honest, is enough typically to sort of win a lot of games with Marowak, because the consistency and the pace of everything else about the deck is good enough to where, as long as you're not flipping tails on everything, like you can win a lot of matchups. The weird thing about stage 1 Pokemon in the game right now is that most of them don't have a lot of HP, right? Like, we have Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos, and they all have like 130, 140 HP, but most stage 1 EX Pokemon also, like, they also don't have that much. I should have attached to the Primate, that way I could have got a guaranteed KO this turn. Most of them don't have that much more HP. It's really kind of weird. Whereas the stage 3 Pokemon all have a decent high amount of HP. Like, Marowak with 140, like, doesn't seem like enough to me. Especially with Mewtwo being in the game, and that 150 is such like an important sort of marker. We probably could have Giovanni'd here, but it doesn't really matter. Now, if he has the Dragonite here, we honestly could just lose this game. In fact, it's fairly likely, in fact, that because we got 2 tails there, that we lose this game, because we didn't draw in any Sabrinas or anything like that. Oh, here's the Giovanni. He's going to tail smack me? Is that what's going to happen? Oh, no, here's the Dragonite. Uh-oh. All right, okay. All right, hold on. Yeah, he did it. We just lost. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I take it back. Marowak, probably the worst deck in the game. Never play Marowak EX. It's terrible. It's not worth your time. It's like the worst deck. I misplayed, to be honest with you. I attached to the wrong Pokemon there at the end. I wasn't paying attention. We easily could have won that game. Kingler does 80 or 160 with 3 water energies, unlike Marowak EX. It may do 0 or 80 or 160, just sharing. I know, Peter, it's interesting, isn't it? Definitely interesting. The thing is with Kingler is that it doesn't have a lot of HP, right? Like, how much HP does Kingler have? I'm pretty sure you just get one-shotted by, like, most Pokemon in the game. I think it has like 90 or maybe 100 HP. I'm not sure. But I'm going to be playing Exeggutor. I think this Exeggutor deck is running Wigglytuff as well. This is one of my favorite cards in the entire game. I think Exeggutor is massively slept on. People look at it and say, oh, this card like doesn't do enough damage, but it's very consistent. It's got a lot of HP. It's got 160. 120 HP on Kingler. That's something. That is something. Is Kingler guaranteed for 3 energies to do 80? If that's the case, that is quite strong. I'm not gonna lie. The reason I like Exeggutor more than a lot of other cards in the game is because it's actually good going first. There's very few decks that are good going first, or don't struggle going first, and Exeggutor is one of those. Because it's a stage 1 Pokemon and it only takes 1 energy to attack. Going first is actually quite good if you start with Exeggutor in the active spot. 120 HP on Kingler is quite strong though, and there's our guy Exeggutor. So as long as we don't get red carded here, we can just start swinging away with Exeggutor. And I actually think that Wigglytuff paired with Exeggutor is quite good mainly because the thing with Wigglytuff, and I'm probably going to make a video about this. This might be the next video that I make is this on this deck or on some sort of a Wigglytuff or Exeggutor deck. I'm not sure, but the reason I like this deck together is because Exeggutor is quite tanky. Theoretically, you can live a hit from a Mewtwo, barring any Giovanni shenanigans, right? But Wigglytuff takes 3 energy to attack. Wigglytuff is a strong card. It's just it takes 3 energy to attack. It's sort of this weird sweet spot, and it's kind of awkward to set it up because there's no real way to accelerate energies to Wigglytuff. Being a colorless Pokemon, you have the advantage where you can technically put Wigglytuff in any deck. But that means that there's no cards in the game that help you accelerate any type of energy to Wigglytuff, right? You can't use Moltres to attach energy to a Wigglytuff, and you can't, Misty onto a Wigglytuff or things like that. So it's a little bit awkward in that sense. You need to play... Okay, my opponent conceded. You need to play Wigglytuff with a deck that doesn't, with other cards that don't require you to attach a lot of energy to them, if that makes sense. It actually wouldn't be bad in a fire type deck. Like you could just run it with like in a Moltres deck with like Arcanine or Charizard. Could be interesting. You would just have to manually attach to it every turn and sort of rely on Moltres. I don't think it would be good in Charizard because you kind of also want to oftentimes manually attach on top of the Moltres stuff to Charizard, but Wigglytuff is a good card, and the new Jigglypuff promo card that was released is much better than the other Jigglypuff card. So it does make this deck a little bit better, a little bit more consistent. Manival, can we be friends in game? Yeah, for sure, 100%. I probably should put up like my friend code, right? Maybe I can put it up like on the stream. Maybe I'll do that after this game. I'll figure that out. We are going second. Jigglypuff is technically better to have in the active spot going second. We're going against a Pikachu, so at least we're not... This matchup is very interesting. It's very, very interesting for sure. We don't really have anything in our hand that's that good. It'd be nice to draw into a Research or an Exeggutor or something like that. But this matchup is very, very interesting. Okay, so we're playing in the Blitzel line. There's a Zebstrika Pikachu variant, and there's a Giovanni. Okay. Well, I don't think it's worth playing any cards on our deck right now, at least right now. I mean, yeah. I think holding in the Giovanni is good. The thing is, when you're playing a deck like Erica's, because you can't Giovanni and Erica in the same turn, so you have to be a little bit preemptive with when you play your Giovannis to do that extra damage, because over the course of 2 or 3 turns, you want to make sure that you are getting the correct math to get a KO. Of course, that's hard to know when you sort of flip coins to do the... Oh, we get red carded. Wait a minute. This could be huge. Potion, Exeggutor, and Jigglypuff. Okay. This is good. I mean, we lost the Ericas. Yeah, that potion's a little annoying, I think. We lost the Ericas, but we, in return, got our Exeggutor, so... I'm not hating. Trying to bench the Exeggutor. You can't do that. You got to evolve it. Okay, so we have all our basic Pokemon. We have a potion in the hand. Let's start attaching to the Jigglypuff. And that's the other good thing about this deck is you never have to commit energies, ahead of time to That Tails is a little annoying. We just need to flip heads on the next one. You never have to commit energies ahead of time to the Exeggutors or the Executes on your bench because they only require one attachment to attack, right? So, any turn you could just, attach that card to it and then start attacking. Every turn sort of preemptively, you can just keep attaching to the Wigglytuff and the Jigglypuffs to set them up. So I guess like I don't even know, like the what am I thinking of right now? I forget. That red card. Okay. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I don't think it's worth it to do anything else here. I mean, we can't do anything else because we can't even get it out of the active. So we're just going to commit another energy to this Jigglypuff. I am going to play the red card. I'm going to hold the potion. Because if we do flip heads here and we get the KO, there's nothing really that potion's going to do for us. So we just have to flip heads. And we done. Okay. All right. You know what? Listen. You flip heads twice in a row against Pikachu, like that's tough. That's not great. That's not great. Because now he could probably just like attach. Well, I mean, yeah. It's a little unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, I should say. It's very unfortunate also because we don't have like the Wigglytuff or anything, you know what I mean? But all hope is not lost. All hope is not lost. Peter, I think any Pokemon with Stage 1 Final Evolution who require 1 energy to attack is very good because going first on turn 3, you have the chance to evolve and get the energy like Rapidash. That's right. That's exactly right. It's a very strong aspect of the deck. Okay, there's the Wigglytuff. So that's something at least. Now, again, we basically just have to flip heads at some point here and put I think the second Pikachu asleep. That's kind of really all it comes down to. The downside with this deck is that you can't heal Wigglytuff with Erika's, for sure. But since you were going to have 3 energies on the Wigglytuff anyway, the retreat cost is 2, and Exeggutor only takes 1 energy. You don't really have to worry about sort of X speed or sort of retreating out and sort of going behind on energies in that sense. So if we do have to sort of bail and go into an Exeggutor here, the Sabrina, yeah, we do lose to the Sabrina, don't we? Yeah, that's unfortunate. We didn't draw our evolution Pokemon. So you know what? Hey, we knew there was a chance that was gonna happen. We always knew that's gonna chance. We got unlucky. Okay, we got unlucky. All right, we flipped tails twice. Our opponent had Sabrina. We didn't draw any of our evolution Pokemon. It is what it is. It is what it is. I compare Wigglytuff EX to Arcanine EX. Yeah, they're similar. They are. Except the upside with Arcanine though is that you have supporter Pokemon that help build it up, like Moltres EX, right? Wigglytuff just doesn't have anything. There's no like, you know what I mean? Like the upside with Wigglytuff is you can attach any energy to it, but there's nothing really assisting it directly. Whereas Arcanine does have Moltres to accelerate those energies to it. Okay, so hold on. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw my friend code up. Bear with me just for one quick second. Let me go. I'm gonna put my friend code up like on the screen. Here, so I'll bring this back. I'll just put it like this. And then give me one sec here. I'll add some text and I'll just type it in and I'll just have it on the screen. That way if people want to throw me, some type of a friend request or anything like that, that'll be okay. Peter, what if Exeggutor EX is a colorless type and you could pair it with Arcanine instead of Wigglytuff EX? Your damage output would be higher. I mean, Exeggutor being a certain type doesn't matter. I think it's actually better for Exeggutor to be grass type because it has a lot of HP and you can sort of incorporate it with... Yeah, there we go. That's the friend code. I'm going to put the dashes in as well. I don't know if that's sort of a requirement for the friend code. Give me 1 second, guys. Bear with me. People are probably just leaving, but... Okay. So we'll take this here. No, I don't want to move my face cam. This. Yeah. There we are. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. There's the friend code. There's the friend code. Adam, have you finished the event? I did finish the event. In fact, I'm not bragging here, but I did finish this event. I got my 5 wins in a row in my first 5 matches that day when I hopped on. Manual copy on chat. Well, listen. I want to keep playing the games. I don't want to spend the time sort of adding people and like typing in all this stuff. So I'm gonna keep playing the games. My friend code is up there if you guys want to add me. Add me as a friend. So, Peter, I need 4 to 5 minutes to charge the other dedicated TCG Pocket old phone to get my friend code. It's all good, Peter. We're gonna be around for a little bit. But yeah, I played 5 matches of. I'm gonna play another game actually of Exeggutor and Wigglytuff. I played 5 matches that morning. The first 5 matches of the day, I played it with Pikachu and Raichu, which in my opinion is the best deck in the game. Pikachu and Raichu. I played all 5 matches and won just all 5 right off the bat. So that was sort of how my event went. If I'm being honest with you, I definitely did get lucky. I played like 2 Articuno decks, Fire type deck. I think Charizard, and I played a Mewtwo, and then I played like some like throwaway like meme deck that had no chance of winning anyway. So I had 1 free win. We're going second actually, but I think it's still better to start with Exeggutor or Execute because we have Exeggutor in hand along with Erica's. So that's what we're gonna do here. All right, let's do another one. Yeah, I like this deck a lot. It's not. I wouldn't say it's as good as like the other meta decks because it's very RNG dependent, like I said, with Execute. But the math is good. Like it's super underrated. Like even if 50% of the time you're flipping the heads, that means basically on average you're doing 60 damage with Exeggutor, which is actually a pretty good number. Peter says I got lucky with 5 win streak gold emblem my first try, and he's gonna share his build. Yeah, it's very luck based. I mean, to be 100% honest with you, like that's why I'm not saying like I'm not bragging to any degree. It's really all about luck, you know, such as like everything in this game. All right. So I'm going to go ahead here. He has 5 cards in hand, so the red card will be going out right now. It's Articuno, so it doesn't really matter, but maybe he doesn't have the Starmie in hand. And what we can do, because again, Exeggutor only takes 1 energy here, is we can just attach to the Jigglypuff. And this is going to make him think that we don't have Exeggutor in our hand, but like we do anyway, and there's no reason to attach to the active. Like there's just no reason to do that. So we're going to commit that energy to the Wigglytuff to start. But anyway, guys, if you're watching right now, don't forget to smash the like button. My friend code is right up here. Where is it? Right here. Go ahead and throw me a friend invite if you'd like. Yeah, certainly press that like button. I appreciate you guys watching. It means a lot. And my first ever Pokemon TCG Pocket live stream. My first one ever. The first one I've ever done. The first one. But Adam, I just noticed that you were new in the chat. That was your first time typing in the chat. What's going on, Adam? Thank you so much, man. I hope you're having a great night. I did finish the event. Thank you for asking. And yeah, man, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everything, everyone all the time. Okay, so he attached to the bench Articuno, and because Starmie has free retreat, I think playing. Well, first of all, we're gonna evolve the Exeggutor, and then we're gonna attack. But I honestly think that it's probably worthwhile for us to just Sabrina here. He only has 2 cards in hand. It's not great to early burn your Sabrinas a lot of times because they do sort of give you a win condition later in the game, but he's going to bring up this Articuno because it has the energy attachment, and I think that's probably the best choice in my book. We do flip heads, so keep that in mind. Peter said his build was 1 Articuno, 2 Lapras, 2 Misty, 2 Giovanni, 2 Sabrina, 2 Professor, 2 XP, 2 Potion, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Pokedex, and 1 Helix Fossil, no Almost no red card. Okay, that's good. That's a cool list. I like that. Lapras EX is very interesting, in my opinion. I don't know how I feel about Lapras, if I'm being 100% honest with you. It's not that it's bad. Like, Lapras is definitely not... It's definitely not a bad card. It's just hard for me to, like, put it above Starmie or Articuno in that sense. Like, it's nice. Like, the 80 damage is nice, and it's the same as Articuno in terms of damage to the active Pokemon, but I think that spread damage from Articuno is a little bit better than the healing factor that Lapras gets. And that's mainly just because Mewtwo is so popular now, and Lapras gets one-shot by quite a few Pokemon. He's actually, yeah, look at, he just bailed on the energies and just fed the Starmie to us. That's a very interesting play. We don't mind it because we're going to flip heads all night long. We're exclusively going to flip heads. In fact, if we flip 1 more heads, I think this guy's just going to leave the game, if I'm 100% honest with you here. This isn't a bad strategy for Articuno Starmie because... Again, Starmie has free retreat. you have bodies to kind of... Sorry, I thought I heard something. Do I hear something? No, I don't hear anything. Sorry. You have sort of bodies to just take damage, and then you can kind of you can kind of wait for Misties and then attach the energy and then just start rolling from there. Sorry, I get distracted. Peter says YouTube channel called Spraggle's got the 5-win streak, first try with 2 Lapras CX and 2 Greninja. Hey, it's not bad. Like I said, it's definitely not bad. Okay, here's the crazy thing here, guys. This may look crazy to you. This may seem crazy to you, but we have 2 energies on this Jigglypuff, and we have 1 energy on the Exeggutor, and we do have the other Jigglypuff. Here is what I'm proposing. What I'm proposing is that we actually attach this to the Exeggutor to give us the ability to retreat out after taking a hit. That may seem crazy because we have 2 Ericas in our hand with a potion, but I think that's actually the best play. I don't think we need to set up a second Jigglypuff. I don't think it's really going to do anything for us in the long run. But Peter, I do know Spraggles. Spraggles is great. He's a great content creator. I've been watching Spraggles way back from when he first started making Pokemon Unite videos, which he still does on his main channel or his other channel. Yeah, I do really enjoy Spraggles. He makes great Pokemon Pocket videos as well. Just a good guy. He's really funny. He's a really funny guy. I enjoy watching his videos, but yeah. Peter, yeah, I think it's a good idea to retreat about those energies. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know if it really matters. We're in a pretty good spot here. Did we flip heads on that last attack? I think we did. I think that's 3 in a row. I think that was 3 in a row. Yeah, so I mean, at this point, he's just going to attach to the active spot here. And he's going to Sabrina us, and this way... yeah, this way we're just going to go into this guy. Emmanuel, I sent to the request. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the request. I will accept it after this. My friends list is honestly getting kind of full. I have to see how many open friend spaces I have left. So he's just going to attack us for 40 on the Jigglypuff. We are going to have to commit an energy to retreat on this, which is totally fine. We were kind of ahead on the energy race anyway. I don't think it actually matters. So we're going to go into the Exeggutor. If we get the KO here, that's great. If not, it's whatever. If we had the Jigglypuff or the Wigglytuff EX in hand, we probably would have done that. Is that 4 heads in a row? I think we're just the best gamers in the world here. I mean, he didn't concede after 3 heads in a row, so maybe 4 will do it. Maybe that heads will do it. Let's see if he wants to continue this match. But again, here's the thing with Exeggutor. You kind of have a high roll capability, of course, with flipping heads and doing 80 damage every turn for 1 energy, but you also have sort of low roll protection with Ericas and Potion, whereas if if the game takes longer because you're not flipping heads, we do have sort of some stall, sort of late game survivability, capabilities here, which is pretty cool. Main reason why I do like Exeggutor, I don't think it's bad. I really don't think it's bad. I think it just comes down to the typing aspect of it, and decks like Exeggutor, because it's kind of like mini Venusaur. It's sort of the mix between typical like tempo decks and Venusaur. It's much more of a tempo deck than Venusaur is, of course, but it's sort of a mid-range / tempo deck. It's kind of a hybrid. But the problem is things like Mewtwo, things like Charizard exist, and because they exist, like those matchups are really quite bad. The only way you can really beat Charizard playing this deck is if like you just go all in on Wigglytuff and you basically just get lucky flipping heads and putting them to sleep. That's kind of how it goes. Peter, my free-to-play is currently level 39 with more than 1,200. I think wins from random matches mostly. Dang, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But it's good to hear. That's cool. We have the 1 X-Speed in our hand with Jigglypuff in the active spot going first. This actually might be like best case scenario here if we are able to draw into an Exeggutor. Well, not best case scenario, but it could be pretty good. And this is a Mewtwo here, so I'm kind of thinking we want to hold off on the red card. Do we want to hold off on the red card? It's probably better. Yeah. I think it's probably better to hold off on the red card. I think I'm going to use it once we see the Ralts down. We want to avoid him getting the Curlia, right? And if he doesn't find a Ralts this turn, that's very good. Because here's the research, right? He's going to go to 5 cards in hand. He's probably going to play at least 1 more card here. Unless he gets very unlucky. Did he get unlucky? Okay. So this means he's got like Curlia or Gardevoir in his hand. Okay, so the 2 draws that we just had were like literally the perfect draws, because now we can on turn 2 going first, we can get into our Exeggutor here, and we have the red card. So I think this is definitely the right time to play red card personally. Whenever you see 5 cards in hand, I think it's just always best to play the red card. I don't know exactly how the math works out or the probabilities or things like that, but since we don't see a Ralt yet and he has 5 cards in his hand, I think it's always the smart play to do the red card here. Now he could draw in everything he needs, right? Which is how red card works, but I think probability wise speaking, and we flip heads, so we guarantee to get the KO on Mewtwo next turn as well, unless we see a potion, which again definitely could happen. But I think we're doing all right. We're doing okay here. The only thing I'm afraid of is if he just after enough turns has Giovanni in his hand and gets the KO here. Peter says, will you do viewer trades similar to viewer battles when the trade function is available? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, once trading comes out, we'll do. I mean, I think I'm gonna do more live streams. I think it's like a worthwhile thing to do, and I've been enjoying it. So, and there's the Ralts. Okay, so we did get the Ralts, and we see the Wigglytuff and another Jigglypuff. So that's cool. This is good. But yeah, I'll definitely do sort of viewer trades and sort of viewer events. The thing is, there's not, of course. I'm being honest. We don't have a ton of viewers right now, right? Like we don't have a bunch of people watching, and again, this is my first live stream, so I think maybe as time goes on, where maybe we have more people that are tuning in regularly, more people that are kind of subscribed, watching the videos, things like that, maybe it'll make a little bit more sense to do kind of a regular sort of viewer interaction live stream where we're doing some trades and we're doing some viewer battles and things like that, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm interested in trading, so it's good to know. Plus, free-to-play card decks does need a lot of help. Yeah, for sure. Trading, I think I don't know. Maybe there's a reason why trading isn't in the game yet. But in general, I think that trading, once it comes to the game, is going to be very, very good. I think it's going to be very important for free-to-play players, especially. It depends. I don't know how limited. Like we'll have to see sort of. We'll have to see what the trading looks like exactly. He's got 4 cards in hand here. Okay, so he could attach the Mewtwo and play an X-Speed and play a Giovanni. If he has all 3 of those cards here, it's very bad for us. We see the Curlia. So we're safe at least for this turn. We still have Sabrina in our deck. Hold on, I'm just trying to think at least what the probability is here. We attach the Mewtwo. Do we see the X-Speed? We don't. Okay. All right, that's fine. I don't mind that at all. Again, we're going to attach to the Exeggutor just like we did last turn. And yeah, right now we're just hoping for no Giovanni. That's kind of the big thing for us at the moment. Second Exeggutor would be very, very good. How many cards are in our deck currently? Let's see. 6 cards in the deck. Okay, so we could draw into the Exeggutor. We'll want to see if we make that happen. If we draw into the Exeggutor, that means the likelihood of him being able to one-shot us twice in a row. He might not even one-shot us right now, but if he does have the Giovanni and he one-shots our Exeggutor, we're kind of basically forced into the Wigglytuff, which if he gets Gardevoir, that means he could attack back-to-back and then KO our Wigglytuff as well, which means we would have to flip heads with the Wigglytuff. So let's see here. This is going to basically come down to if he has Giovanni and or if we flip heads with Wigglytuff. That's kind of it. That's kind of where we're coming from. We're a turn behind on energies though, because I think we already used our X-Speed, so it's tough because basically I think we're gonna have to stand anyway with the Exeggutor. I don't think there's ever a possibility I don't think there's ever a time that we attach again to the Exeggutor in the active. Oh, he actually brought up the Curlia, so I'm not sure why he brought up the Curlia. Maybe he just quit. I don't know exactly what's going on. He probably just didn't draw the Giovanni and he was like, I don't care. We might have rage quit here. We might have taken the dub. We might have taken the win here against Mewtwo here. Exeggutor Wigglytuff is too good. It's too strong, too good, too powerful. If we had that Exeggutor in our hand, if we were able to bench that a turn prior, I probably would have committed that second energy to the Exeggutor. Definitely might have been better to do that. I don't know. I think we're doing all right, but I think our opponent laughed. I think he got a little bit angry that he didn't draw into his Giovanni, which is, again, it's one of those weird interactions with Exeggutor, right? Like, you're above that 150 mark, and you're basically one of the only Pokemon in the game that has more than 150 HP. There's just not many of them, right? I mean, I know... Yeah, he didn't... Yeah, okay. There we go. Bang! Getting dubs with Exeggutor and Wigglytuff. We love to see it. Peter, sorry. Peter says plus mini set, plus set 2 is going to be a long time for free to play to complete anything. Yeah. Well, I mean, they want you to spend money, Peter, right? Like, that's what they want. So I guess it makes sense. I think the amount of time between this initial set, Genetic Apex on launch, and the next set that we're getting, I think it's been plenty of time. In fact, I think people are already sort of to feel a little bit of stale with the current kind of card base. And the good thing about these TCGs is that when a new set gets released, you can use those cards along with the old cards, and basically new archetypes using sort of the old cards emerge, and that's sort of one of the big upsides, I think. Let's play Blastoise. People don't play Blastoise enough. It's one of the big sort of, it's one of my favorite parts of new expansions, basically, when they come out, is that you can kind of play the old cards with the new cards to do something different, right? You can kind of go back and mix and match and do some really cool stuff. So I think when the new sets come out, I think there's been enough time for people to have collected a lot of the cards from Genetic Apex to where any sort of new archetype comes out, they maybe won't need like a full set of those new cards, right? You might just need like a couple of the new cards. I forgot we're playing Snorlax in this deck. This deck is super funny. Peter says Wigglytuff EX can double, triple, or more the damage output as long as they stay asleep. That's right. I mean, that's right. I mean, that's the cool thing about Wigglytuff is a lot of times, it comes down to a coin flip, but like if you flip heads with that Wigglytuff, like you kind of a lot of times win the game. It is really, really, really strong. Okay, we have the Pokeball and we have two Misties in our hand, which is crazy. Hopefully we draw a Squirtle. There it is. Peter says, I have one Blastoise EX. I tried with one baby Blastoise with two baby Mewtwo from YouTube video deck builds. That sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting. I haven't actually tried to use the small Blastoise before. I think it just has an awkward HP amount and an awkward damage amount as well. We whiff the Misties there. We're going first, so a lot of unfortunate things are happening. A lot of things are unfortunate currently. But I don't know. Blastoise is cool. The reason I like Blastoise is because, like, you can play sort of the mid-range, sort of long game play style with the deck where you just sort of slowly build it up. You slowly attach energies and you get it set up. But like if you are able to hit like on one or two of your Misties, like the likelihood of you having 5 energies on your Blastoise is quite high, honestly. And if that, of course, does end up being the case, I have X speeds in this deck too. I don't even know what's going on. It becomes increasingly more likely that you're able to get your Blastoise in the active spot and attack for 160. Which is, or 140, is it? How much does Blastoise do? I think it's 160, which is really strong. I mean, that's enough to like KO literally anything in the game, because Charizard's 180, but you're hitting it for super effective. They said instead of Snorlax, use Baby Mewtwo because of lesser amount of retreat cost. Yeah, but do you really ever care to retreat? Right? Do you? Like, I don't know. Is that? I guess Sabrina's the thing. Yeah, 160 with 5 energies is crazy. It really is. Yeah, I think Baby Mewtwo is probably better. You could also just run Kangaskhan. It has less HP, but like at least you could have committed energy to it and just start attacking, right? Right? Like at least that's like an option. So Snorlax is definitely kind of a meme. I agree with you. I don't know if it's probably the best in here. The Baby Mewtwo does make a lot of sense. Now that you say that. At least that way, like running the X speeds in your deck like makes sense to some degree. This is a weird matchup though, because if we whiffed on both Misties, by the way, so if we don't, we might literally have to bring in this other. We might like I'm trying to. We probably won't even be able to KO this Weezing by the time we have to KO this Weezing, which is hilarious because this guy's just whittling us down. And we inevitably are going to die. We haven't drawn over Blastoise yet either, but another Pokeball will keep us technically safe from a Sabrina, which is good. So we're playing the long game right now. This deck feels bad when you go first and you miss both Misties. Like that is definitely a little bit disappointing, for sure. Do I live a sequence here from the Weezing, but he does have this the Chinchino setup, so I'm kind of thinking. Here comes the research. So no Sabrina this turn. I was gonna say like we could technically like bring up the Squirtle, but like it's just gonna get KO'd. So I think we always bring up this the second Snorlax when our Snorlax gets when the active one dies, and that way it just buys us at least an extra turn to get that 5th energy on the War Turtle and hopefully a Blastoise if we can draw into it here. But the idea here, I mean, I think we would need Potion because I think there's another War Turtle. Sure, why not? Because Chinchino's going to do probably 90 damage. Farfetch does 40. If we attack on the first cycle of that interaction, I think we should be able to get 3 KOs before he can. I don't think he can KO us in 2 attacks basically, unless he gets a second Chinchino set up. And I think that's kind of the gist of it. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's where we're at. We draw the potion. We're going to hold on to that for sure. And I think we're going to start attaching to this. We maybe should actually... that was probably a misplay. I probably should have attached to the active Snorlax. Draven, not playing standard deck. What do you mean by that, Draven? Also, shout out to you. Thank you for joining into the stream. What do you mean by standard deck? Do you mean like the standard Blastoise deck? Is that what you're asking? Because I'm sure the standard This is a very outdated deck list. I'm sure the standard... Blastoise deck is different. Okay, so now we're with 5 cards in deck. We have to draw into a Blastoise here, or else we are just in a bad spot. But him bringing up the Chinchino here to take that KO is tough. Only 3 benched. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, Draven. And there's our Blastoise. Okay. So we have a chance basically here, and I don't think it benefits us to attach to the Blastoise right now, so we're just going to go ahead and attach to the War Turtle on the bench. Oh, 60 card deck, right, Draven? Oh no, we're playing Pokemon TCG Pocket. It's a different game. We're not playing the standard Pokemon trading card game, so it's a little bit different. Top drawing the EX Pokemon. We had 5 cards in deck with 2 Blastoises, Peter, so it was fairly likely. We had a good chance, and I think we also have a research in our deck too. Do we? We did. We also had a research in our deck, so we had like a 3 out of 5% chance. Just seems like it's on a small scale driven. It is, yeah. So Pocket's a little bit different, yeah. It's a little bit different where it's like a miniaturized, sort of fast-paced, small. Everything about it's just sort of a smaller paced version of Pokemon TCG, but it's very fun. Definitely really fun. I think here I think we're gonna play the Sabrina. Because I would rather commit the energy to the War Turtle. And then Sabrina to guarantee a KO here. I think this is probably better for us to do it this way. Maybe not, actually. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't think it actually matters. I think we just win. And that's the fun thing about Blastoise, right? In a deck like this is like the payoff in the late game is really, really, really good. But yeah, Draven, we're playing Pokemon TCG Pocket. Technically a different game. Entirely, actually. All the cards are different, which is cool. It's one of the things I really do appreciate about. Make sure we click the right attack. One of the things I really do appreciate about Pokemon TCG Pocket is that the cards themselves are different than the cards in the normal TCG. It would be less fun if they just took sort of cards that already existed in the standard Pokemon TCG and put them into sort of the rulings in the format of Pokemon TCG Pocket. So I do like, and a lot of the art is new. Like the cards themselves are brand. A lot of them are unique, which I think is really, really cool. Some of the art is taken from old cards, for sure. But a lot of the art is new, and I think that's really, really cool. For sure. Oh, I think this is a win. Yeah, there we go. Let's go, Blastoise. We're doing it. We are doing it. We're winning games with Blastoise EX. I do think it's probably better. I'll change the deck list. I think it's better to probably run with the Mewtwo. I'd have to go and look into a bunch of matchups and see how the math turns out, because Mewtwo has 120 and Snorlax has 150. So I wonder if that HP difference like comes in handy for some scenarios. I haven't figured it out. I haven't crunched all the numbers for all the matchups, but there definitely could be scenarios where Snorlax is in fact better. I'd have to look into it. Speaking of Charizard, let's play some Charizard. This here is going to be the deck that's running kind of everything. It's just sort of the Firebox, the Moltres box. So we've got 2 Moltreses, the 2/2/2 Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard lineup with, I believe, 2 Arcanine and 2 Growlithe, we might only have one Growlithe in this deck list. I'm not entirely sure, but it's the deck that's playing all the fire type Pokemon. We do start with Moltres, so that's good. For sure. We're going first though, not good, but we do have 2 researchers in hand, which is good. So there's a chance basically. And we see the Pidgey in the active spot. Pidgey is one of the most interesting cards in the game. It's a very interesting card. Pidgeot, that is. Pidgey itself is not a very interesting card. There's nothing really about Pidgeot that's interesting, but Pidgey, but Pidgeot is a very interesting card. I wish it was played more. I think Peter says Baby Mewtwo not being weak to fighting type plus his lesser retreat cost is why they're marking it for. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely a lot of upside to it. I'm not going to say that it's it could be very likely that it is better. The 150 is like pretty niche anyway. Like with potions, you could technically live 2 hits from like an Articuno or maybe even a Pikachu, right? Barring a Giovanni, so like that's pretty niche. 120. What's doing 120? Nothing's really doing 120, so you're typically living a hit anyway, at least 1 hit. With Mewtwo and with the ability to retreat, I think you'd get a lot more, at least mileage out of the X speeds in your deck. So I think overall it's definitely better. Do we bench a second Moltres here? I think we do, because it's probably likely that we'll have to do some sort of a pivot in the mid game here if we don't draw into all of the evolution Pokemon that we need. We do have 2 Charizards in our deck though, in our hand. We already have 2 of them. We'll play the Pokeball just to pull out that basic Pokemon. But yeah, Peter, I think you're probably right. That deck list is old, like I said. I'm not exactly sure why I was running Snorlax, but yeah, the small Mewtwo is likely just better. The Snorlax might have been better for sure in that Weezing matchup. That's just one scenario, I suppose, because in what do we? We're gonna just. I don't know what we're playing. We're playing Wigglytuff, so I kind of want to just attach to the Charmander. Maybe Chansey with 120 and 3 retreat costs. Yeah, but Chansey also has a 120. Like, there's no advantage to running Chansey aside from Mewtwo. Because Chansey's also weak to fighting like Snorlax is. I mean, Mewtwo's weak to Weezing. And Weezing's the only Dark-type card in Dark-type deck that you're going to be going up against, at least right now. So it's pretty niche. Like, we played that one game where Snorlax would have been better than Mewtwo there for sure. But, like, in general, it's definitely a very, very niche scenario where you're going to be going against Weezing. Okay, so this is Dragonite, Wigglytuff, Pidgeotto, and this kind of seems like a pile, and by pile I mean just sort of like a mash of a bunch of random cards. The reason I say that is because Wigglytuff takes 3 energies to attack, Dragonite takes 4 energies to attack, and there's really no way to accelerate energies to either of those cards. So like you're never going to have enough energies basically to do what you need to do here with this guy's deck. I just don't really understand the strategy behind all of this stuff. We could Sabrina, try to buy ourselves a turn. Now, if I was going to Sabrina, I would have attached to the active. So we're going to commit to not Sabrining and maybe holding on to it for later. And hopefully we draw some heads here on the Inferno Blast. That's 1. That's 2. And that is not 3. Nixer, how do you get the game on PC? So, this stays on Charmeleon for sure. So I'm running this basically through like an emulator type program that kind of it's an app that you download on your computer, and it basically turns your computer into like a virtual tablet of sorts, and you can kind of download Android, phone apps and phone games and things like that, and run them on your PC. It's a little bit interesting. It's strange. It's a little bit kind of finicky to get it kind of set up, but in my research at least, it was the only way of figuring out how to play and record Pokemon TCG Pocket to make YouTube videos on. So it's what we're doing, at least at the moment. It's what we're doing at the moment. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Thumbs up. What's up, Nixer? Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you for tuning in. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're doing well. Here's the question, right? Do we take the KO here with Charizard and leave it in the active? Or do we pivot into the Moltres? Or not even pivot, do we just Inferno Blast again? That's the question. Manuvel, what time is it for me? It's like midnight right now, brother. This is an interesting scenario. We have 2 Sabrinas in our hand. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? I think we're going to attach to the Charizard. We're going to X speed, basically, is what we're going to do. And we're going to just put the pressure on this way. This might not be the best play, but we're going to discard that 1 energy from the Moltres. It's not a huge deal. We have 5 energies on the Charizard, which means we can back-to-back Crimson Storm just for KOs. Crimson Storming on the Pidgeotto for 200 is a bit overkill, but we have another turn before he has a Dragonite setup. So he's going to have to bring up this this Dratini, right? Here's my logic. He's going to have to bring up this Dratini unless he has another basic Pokemon in his hand, and which he does. And now we have 2 Sabrinas in our hand, basically, so we can force either this Dragonair or the Wigglytuff. If he brings up Wigglytuff, he loses the game, and if he brings up the Dragonair, he probably loses the game. So I'm betting that he won't play another basic Pokemon. That's my whole mentality here. We see the Dragonite. It's no problem here, but does he have another basic in hand? Does he have another basic? He doesn't. Okay, so like this is what I'm saying, right? That was, I mean, I think that was the play. I think we made the right play there. I'm not entirely sure. That was my logic, right? I mean, I'm a genius in hindsight, right? Hindsight's 50-50, or yeah, right? What do they say? I know. What do they say? Hindsight's 20/20. Is that what they call it? Yeah, and we're gonna take the win there. Sabrina is a good card. Sabrina will win you games. That is 100% the facts. That is 100% the facts. 8:58 p.m. for you, Peter. I wonder where you're at. Emmanuel, here it's 10:29. Okay. Yeah, on the East Coast, you tend to kind of think that like a lot of people are probably not in the East Coast timeline, right? At least if you're streaming at midnight Eastern time, the people watching your stream are probably not also on the East Coast. I mean, that's probably a that's probably a safe bet for sure. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm having a great time playing Pokemon TCG Pocket. Let's play one more. Let's play one more game with Charizard, and we'll see where things go here. The stream has been running for about an hour and a half. So I think we'll play maybe a couple more games, and then we'll head on out of here. Maybe is what we'll do. West Coast, Peter. Yeah, shout out to you, brother. Shout out to the West Coast. All love coming from the East Coast. But yeah, I did recently upload a couple of videos over the last few days. So if you're watching this, I recommend that you go check them out. And if you haven't checked them out yet, go check them out, give them a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, man. We're going to be having a lot more videos coming. In oh, Emmanuel says it's 10:29 a.m. That's crazy. Now, he would be overseas with that big of a time zone difference. He's probably in Asia, actually. Right? Somewhere in Asia or Australia, maybe. We're going to go turn 1 red card here. That's what we're going to do. We're going first. We really want a good draw next turn. Haku. Shout out to you, Haku. Thanks for tuning in. Been playing that Hypno deck on the event. Sorry, people. Oh, no, Haku. How's it going? Have you gotten your 5 wins in a row? Or 3, 4? I mean, I don't. You get emblems from, like, multiple, right? Haku, yeah. How's that been going for you, man? Which Hypno deck are you playing? Are you playing... There's quite a few Hypno variants, I suppose, but... my Hypno deck, the one with Pinkerton and Zapdos, is probably not... It's probably not the best deck to try to win 5 in a row, but the annoying one you upload... Yeah, okay. So you are playing the one. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. For sure. Shout out to you, Haga. That's awesome, though. I appreciate it. I'm kind of forced to just attack you with the Charmander, unfortunately. It's not going good. I'm just trying to rage people, not really going to the top. Hey, listen, respect to you. That's why that deck exists. That's why I built that deck when I want to make the video. A lot of my videos are about, what the best decks are, what's the best archetype, how to win the most games, things like that. But it's always refreshing to play a deck that's not all about winning the most games, and it's just about having a hilarious time by making your opponents really angry. Raphael says, what cards are you expecting will come in the mini set that's going to drop next week? That's a great question. That is a great question. I don't know if it's confirmed that it's going to drop next week, by the way. It'd be cool if it was confirmed. Jeez Louise, what a terrible situation we're in here. But yeah, we're gonna just get the KO, I guess, in the active. Raphael, that's a good question. I don't know. So the mini set is different. I think for the second expansion, we're gonna see. First of all, we're gonna see in here. Okay, I'm gonna go in depth here. I'm gonna absolutely go in since you asked this question. Genetic Apex was primarily Kanto Pokemon. By Kanto Pokemon, I mean Generation 1 Pokemon. You know, all the starter Pokemon, Bulbasaur, Charizard, Venusaur, right? The starter Pokemon, there was Pikachu, there was Mewtwo. Basically, all of the EX Pokemon that were in Genetic Apex are all Generation 1 Pokemon. So my theory is, in the second set, we are going to see... This is terrible. Everything about what's happening right now is terrible. Holy cow. Sabrina for the win. So everything about Genetic Apex was that basically it was a Generation 1 set. So I think in the mini set might be different. I don't know exactly if they're going to follow this sort of principle in the mini set, but for the second official set, whatever it will be called in the in Pokemon TCG Pocket, I think it's going to be primarily Generation 2 Pokemon is what we're going to see. And thinking of Generation 2, I think we're probably going to see another version of the Bird Trio basic EX Pokemon. We're going to see Entei, we're going to see Suicune, we're going to see Raikou. So we're going to get very similar cards to that aspect of it. It would be cool if they all had effects. That would be definitely really cool. Can we get a Moltres here for Pete's sake? Okay, great. Okay, we're surviving here somehow, some way. Charizard has also a retreat cost of 2, so we'll just evolve it. Okay, we have to attach the Moltres here. Do we play both X speeds? I think we just do. I think we're gonna play both X speeds. I don't want to ditch any energies at this point. I think energies are gonna be really crucial. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted. Raphael, I think it's December 17th is allegedly the drop, and then the next one will drop after will be on January 30th. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, I think, for sure. But yeah, I think so for the next official set, the second big set, well, the one that's coming in January on the 30th, I think that's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of Johto EX Pokemon, and just in terms of like what the Pokemon in the cards are going to be. Now, what the cards do exactly is an interesting question. I think that we're going to see probably some EX Pokemon for Dark type Pokemon as well as Steel. I think it's very likely that we get some EX Pokemon, at least for those two, just because we don't have that at the moment. That being said, I'm trying to think of what are some Dark type Johto Pokemon. Maybe like a Sneasel. Is Sneasel I think, right? Sneasel is a Gen 2 Dark type Pokemon. Houndoom could be a stage 1 Dark type Pokemon. What other Dark type Pokemon came out in Generation 2? Well, Generation 2 was when Dark type Pokemon came out. I'm trying to think of what the first Dark type Pokemon was, but I think we're going to see some Dark type EX Pokemon. It's probably somewhat likely that they have some sort of affiliation with Poison, just because that's just somewhat likely, because that's kind of what Dark type is like right now. At least Poison's sort of a Dark type thing. So I think we're going to see some Dark type EX Pokemon. We'll probably see a Steel type EX Pokemon. It's probably going to be Steelix, which would be really cool. It'd be really cool to see a card that is like a Steel type EX Pokemon that evolves from a non-Steel type Pokemon. We have that in the Pokemon TCG, of course. Just because the types are different doesn't mean you can't evolve a Pokemon. So it would be really cool for us to be able to play Onix, but also evolve into the Steelix. That would be interesting for sure. Or maybe, yeah, I think that would be cool for sure. Maybe Fortress. Fortress was a bug in Steel type. But I think we're going to see Steel and Dark EX Pokemon. I think we need that for sure. And then I think, we're going to see just a lot of Johto Pokemon. I think we're just going to see basically kind of an expansion of the same. I think we're going to see a lot more Pokemon with abilities. I think that's one thing that I'm pretty confident that we're going to see. Okay, so what do we want to do here? I think with 5 energies on the Charizard, we kind of just win the game, don't we? So we're just going to go ahead and bring him in and attack twice until the game's over. Yeah, that's kind of what this deck really comes down to. Charizard's a funny deck. It really is. It's interesting. If you're not drawing fast and playing a tempo deck, like, you're probably going to lose against Charizard. It's just the way of the world, unfortunately. Peter and Manuel are having quite the conversation here. You guys are just going off. It's hilarious. But yeah, Raphael, that's my super long-winded answer. I don't know. Oh, you're still here. Great. Could you see a Dragonite EX and Snorlax EX coming in the mini drop? It's interesting, right? I don't know. It certainly And that's another common thing as well, to have sort of non-EX and EX versions of the same Pokemon. Dragonite is really interesting. If they made a Dragonite EX Pokemon, basically, it would have to be so strong. It would have to be by far the strongest card in the game, because Dragonite already, not being an EX Pokemon, has 160 HP and has a really strong attack. Sorry, thought I heard something as well. Has a very, very strong attack. So I don't know. We could see a Dragonite, but like I said, I think we're going to see some Generation 2 Pokemon in the main set. The mini set, I just don't know. I really don't. I think if I had to guess, I would say the mini set's probably going to be more Generation 1 Pokemon. I think it's going to be more Kanto Pokemon. And all Kanto Pokemon have cards. So I think that's probably a good thing that you mentioned that. Dragonite and Snorlax EX cards, because they were cards that came out in Genetic Apex. They were Generation 1 Pokemon, but they didn't have EX Pokemon, and they're probably going to have more EX. I think that's a great... I think you're right. I think it could be very likely that we see a Snorlax EX or a Dragonite EX. I hope we have more viable EX cards that aren't basic Pokemon. I think basic EX Pokemon are running the meta right now, and they also run the meta in the official Pokemon TCG as well. And overall, it's just sort of a little bit of a toxic element of the Pokemon trading card game, as people have seen. If you don't play the official Pokemon TCG, you will have seen it in Pokemon TCG Pocket, because because Mewtwo, Pikachu, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, I mean, they're all like the best cards in the game, if I'm being 100% honest. So it would be nice for us to have an expansion of EX Pokemon that aren't necessarily basic Pokemon, or basic attacking Pokemon, at least. That would be definitely appreciated. We're going to play the Pokeball first. Grab the Moltres. Bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Love to see that. Now we just need some evolution Pokemon. We see the Zubat in the active spot, which is very interesting. I am very interested in Zubat. Peter says, I saw a movie about baseball players from India going to U.S. baseball teams, and they're very good. That is cool. Yeah. Like cricket players, right? I think cricket's really big in India. Cricket's a really cool sport. I don't know anything about it. It confuses me a lot, but that is cool. That is cool. We play baseball. It's very similar, but it's not, but it is, over here in the U.S. But yeah, cricket's cool. For sure. All right. I don't know what we're going up against. So there's a Zubat and a Vulpix and a Ponyta on our bench. Yeah, I feel like Dark-type Pokemon needs an EX. Hopefully it comes in the mini set. Right. I mean, I think we could see like a Weezing. Like, the thing is, it's weird, right? Because this was, like I said, Genetic Apex was sort of a Kanto set. However, and we draw another research, which is nice. Dark-type didn't exist in the first generation. It was introduced in Johto, which makes it all that much more interesting. Now, they did incorporate some cards as Dark-type Pokemon, like some Poison-type cards. They make Dark-type in the TCG, so we see like Zubat, Golbat, Weezing, Arbok. So any of those cards could easily get any of the Poison-type cards basically could get all three. Let's go. Could easily get an EX Pokemon. I think that would be probably a safe bet, if I had to be 100% honest with you. Sheesh. I'm new to the game. What Pikachu EX deck is best? That's a great question, sheesh. I actually made a video on that exact topic. I would really suggest, and I would really appreciate it, honestly, that if you were to go and check out that video, I think it would be really helpful for you. It's only a quick video. It's like 13-14 minutes long, but it goes over sort of the best versions of Pikachu EX, and it kind of it should give you all the info that you need to know. We get red carded. That Charizard is gone from our hand. No, it isn't. It's back. Well, there it is. So yeah, sheesh. Go check out that video. But if you want a really short answer, I will tell you that the Raichu variant is, in my opinion, at least, is the best. Is the best version. Now, I mean, you can disagree with me for sure, but that is definitely my opinion. Raphael, I agree that that's the best variant. Yeah, I mean, I just think it has the most options. I think the deck is very consistent in nature. Yeah, let's attach to the Charizard. I think that like Pikachu is super consistent in nature, right? Because Pikachu is such a consistent attacker, and I think Zapdos is somewhat consistent as well, just being able to attack for 1 energy. That Raichu gives it the ability to hit sort of one-hit KOs, where the deck doesn't really have the ability to do that easily. And that's kind of the reason, basically. That's the reason, I should say, why I believe the Raichu variant is the best variant. We're gonna get out of here. Gonna get out of this Moltres, and we're gonna go into the Charizard here. The awkward thing about this, and I'm just gonna attach to the Charizard again because we're going to have to Crimson Storm like over and over and over again. It's a little bit awkward for sure. Raphael, do I have any crown Pokemon? Are the crown rarities the gold Pokemon? The golden Pokemon? If that's the case, I do. I have the gold Mewtwo Pokemon. That's the only gold one I have. In terms of the immersive cards, like this Charizard you see in the active spot, as well as the Pikachu and the Mewtwo, I have multiples of like all of those. But yeah, in terms of like the crown rarity, the gold cards, I only have. Wow, that Sabrina came in clutch. There's the concession. Yeah, I only have the Mewtwo. That's the only gold card I've pulled so far. Very cool. I want the crown Mewtwo. Yeah, I did I pulled a what do they call it? Like a God pack. I called a God pack of the Mewtwo pack quite a while ago. It was actually like a week after the game came out. I opened a God pack for Mewtwo, and I got a gold Mewtwo. I got an immersive Mewtwo. I got a full art Mewtwo, and I got I think two of the what is it called? The Kono, I believe. This card right here, this poison guy. I got two of those, and that was my God pack. So I was very, very happy to see that happen. But we're gonna get out of here soon. So I think what we're gonna do, because I'm gonna be ending the stream in not right now, but in a little bit. I want to play at least one match of this funny deck that we made the video on, and see if we can get some pretty funny games. But yeah, Raphael, the crown cards are cool. I like the immersive cards better. I think they look better, but the crown cards, the gold ones, are definitely really cool. Definitely super, super cool. Okay. Going first. Not ideal. But we do start with Pincurchin and the Drowsy on the bench, so there's hope. Unless we're going against a Pikachu and they start in the active spot. Peter, I pulled a pack. My pack pulled 4 immersive cards. 2 Pikachu, 1 Charizard, and 1 Mewtwo. Yeah, super cool. The immersive cards definitely feel like they're a little bit more common than the crown rarity cards for sure. That's at least what it feels like, in my opinion. I could be wrong. We're playing Pinsir. Okay. Sure. We are going to play Pokeball first, for sure. And there's a Zapdos. Okay, so we've got kind of all the Pokemon we need here. We're just going to be a turn behind in terms of this Pincurchin and being able to attack. So we would really like a Hypno to be able to play it next turn and use it next turn. But don't have it yet. But we do have a Sabrina if we need to stall for a turn. But this Exeggutor is going to be interesting. It's going to be a long time to stall this thing out, I'll tell you that much. I will tell you that for free. Raphael, I'm free to play, and I have 2 crown, 6 immersive cards. I think my account is so lucky. I started playing about 2 weeks ago. That is extraordinarily lucky, yeah. I would like to know how many packs you've opened in total, or the, how many cards in total you've collected, because that's a lot of rare cards. It really is. But shout out to you, Raphael. That's awesome. Congratulations, my man. I am going to attach to the Pincurchin because I'm committed to the Pincurchin, Hypno strategy here. I'm gonna pop the Sabrina. I am gonna do it. 800 collected cards. Yeah, so that's a very high rate. It's a very extraordinarily high rate of cards there. Rare cards. I'm not going to bench this Pincurchin. It's not worth me doing, but I am going to play the red card because I honestly just kind of want it out of my hand here. If I'm being honest with you, bringing up the Execute is the right play. We're just hoping that he doesn't draw into the Exeggutor here. That would be very, very bad. Peter has total more than 1,000. Very cool. We see the Exeggutor. Okay, a little unfortunate. Definitely unfortunate for us. However, if we get lucky, we have 2 potions in hand, so we could... I mean, are we really going to get that lucky? This is not... Exeggutor is not the deck we want to be playing against with this particular deck list. It is not what we want to be playing against here. Hopefully we don't see heads. If heads, this game's over. And it's tails. Okay. No, we just have to see that once again. We just need another tails. We need another tails, and technically this is possible. The X speed is not great, if we're being totally honest with you here. We don't get anything by playing the other potion, so I'm not going to, basically. We're going to just flip heads infinitely until this thing's dead. Let's see. That's okay. That's all right, because he's also going to flip. He's also going to flip tails. So it's all right. He could have Giovanni, though. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. That's a good point. I just assumed that he didn't, I guess. Shout out to you, Raphael. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, no, he doesn't have Giovanni, but will he flip heads? He doesn't. All right, let's go. We're in it, boys. We're alive. But you lose cards by obtaining the flares. Cosmetic or battle-only flares. Yeah, you do lose the cards. It's just sort of one of the negatives, I suppose. Okay, so... Jeez Louise. What do we do here? We flip heads. I mean, that's what we do, right? That's the win condition. That is the win condition here. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make sure. Let's make it happen. We just need heads. And this puts him at 100, so if we don't see any healing, which, I mean, he's most definitely going to heal here. Dang, there's the heads. Let's go. He's angry. I know he is. So now we're guaranteed to get an attack off with our Zapdos, which in reality might not be like a big deal to any degree, because we still have to flip more heads, and he's going to probably start playing Ericas and things like that. But technically speaking, we're in the driver's seat here. We are in the driver's seat. we're Pikachu, and he's just 10 HP. He's staring down this Exeggutor. He's just hungry. He's hungry for more. He's going to start attaching to the Exeggutor here for sure, because, you know, of course, he wants to, he wants to retreat out to take, to get the KO here. We do see the Hypno. Okay, so we go up to, what was it, like a 62% chance here to get the stun. So let's make this a reality, shall we? Okay, so Tails on the sleep. That's unfortunate. We still have another coin flip here to flip here on the Thunder Shock. And we flip heads. Let's go. Let's go. He's so angry right now. He's so angry at us right now. And I know it. I can feel it. I can feel the anger coming from this guy. You know he's angry. Like, you know he's just upset, right? He's got to be. He's got to be super upset. There's no other, I mean, there's nothing. Yeah, okay, so here's the question, right? What a turnaround. I think do we go for the attack here, guys? All right, one's in the chat. Do we go for the attack? Blade Bat would, oh yeah, you got to be upset about this. All right, let me know, guys, in the comment. Do we go for the attack here? We flip heads on the sleep, though. So we already have a 50-50 chance even without attacking, but do we go into the Zapdos and just try to KO this thing right now? Or do we... Because, I mean, we only need 2, right? We only need 2 heads to do that. We got to go for the kill, right? We got to go for the kill. I mean, this Exeggutor is a threat. He's already got 2 energies on it too, so I don't want him to retreat out like a little whatever you want to call it. We gotta go for the KO here. If we don't see any other Pokemon, I might bench that Pikachu next turn to start attaching to it. Not that it really matters, but all right. That's Tails. That's Tails. That's Tails. Oh, that hurts. That doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. However, there's still one more opportunity. There's still one more chance. No. No. How could this happen? How could this happen to us? How could this have happened? I don't believe it. Now he's about to hit us for 100 damage here because you know he's going to flip both heads. God, that stinks. That's unfortunate. And he just drops the Paris on the bench too. All right. All right. Let's see. What are we working with here? Tails. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. I mean, it doesn't get any easier. To be 100% honest with you, it just doesn't get any easier. Okay. I think because this guy's only at 20 HP, but I mean he's got to be running Erika's. For some reason maybe he just hasn't drawn them yet. I almost just want to go into Pincurchin. I almost do, but then again I don't. So we're just gonna attack again, and we're gonna flip 2 heads this time. Peter, shout out to you with your friend code. Okay, no sleep this turn. That's okay. That's all right. No problem. 1, 2, 3. Okay, easy does it. Peter, that's free to play with level 39 with 1,348 wins. You are crazy, Peter. You are a full-time Pokemon TCG Pocket player. You must be. You're like a CIA agent in disguise. A Pokemon CIA agent. Because that's crazy. I mean, I thought I played this game a lot, but that is quite a bit. That is quite a bit. For sure. Quick, guys. Anybody who's watching this right now, please post in the chat. Please type in the chat how you came across this video. I'm genuinely curious. Please let me know. Did you come across this in your shorts feed, or is this like showing up as like a normal video on YouTube? I need to know. Like, I genuinely need to know, because I'm very curious. Shorts feed. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Cohen, shout out to you. You're new. Ha. You're new here. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. But thanks for letting me know as well. That answers a lot of questions that I was having in my head. YouTube video is better, sir. Can we do one private match? Please, hopefully it's okay. How about we do some viewer matches on the next live stream? I think we're gonna pass on the viewer matches currently. But the next time we do a live stream, which will be soon, we'll set this up. We'll do some viewer matches. I promise. I'm bringing in the Pincurchin just because I don't trust Zapdos. So, and we don't technically lose anything by getting the Pincurchin in the active spot. Okay, so we missed the paralysis here, but will he stay asleep? Will he stay asleep? I mainly just want that Zapdos alive for this Exeggutor because let's go. Because I'm pretty confident that he's going to Erika's this thing again, and he's going to basically like heal this thing up slowly. That's what I believe is going to happen. And we live a hit from this Lilligant, so I don't think it's that big of an issue. He does wake up, but yet again, we have another 65% chance or whatever it is to make this happen. There's nothing even here that's like I need to attach to be honest with you. I guess I'll just attach here. Oh, you wanted to prove that your account was real? That's okay, man. I believe you. I have no reason not to believe you. Okay, so we put him asleep, and then we're gonna Thundershock again, and now he's not in range of another Pincurchin. Okay, so he's not. Okay, so let's see if he wakes up here. Will he wake up? Because we do have that other Pincurchin on our bench. He doesn't wake up. That's huge. Zapdos is safe for like at least one turn, right? This guy's just got Pokemon coming out of everywhere. I mean, I don't even know what's going on here. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I mean, at some point, and this is the problem with benching. Yeah, this makes it a little bit tough, I think. Okay. This is, yeah, benching 2 Pincurchin is tough, right? Basically, just because of this simple fact. So what I'm actually going to do here, this may seem crazy. I'm going to go into this Pincurchin. The reason I'm going to go into this Pincurchin is because I want this thing to die so that I can bench this other Zapdos. I want it to get knocked out so I can bench this other... let's see, I want to be able to bench the other Zapdos so I can attach to it. That's mainly what I want here. So I don't mind if this thing gets knocked out. Because trading the prize card really doesn't matter. Raphael says, I like the idea of the stack, very cool. Do you think it would work slightly better with Articuno regular, since he also has the ability to paralyze but more HP? It's a toss-up. Like, I think you definitely can run it with the other Articuno. The thing is that electric type is a lot better in the format as a typing than water is in general, that is. But yeah, technically it would, you get access to Misties, and then you could play Articuno as the attacker, basically, right? So they're very similar decks in their function. They're just a little bit different in practice, basically, if that makes sense. But you'd have to look, like, yeah, Articuno does have more HP, but in no scenario is that Articuno really living a hit where Pincurchin's not living a hit. Like, they're both getting 1 hit KO'd. I think Articuno has 100 HP, I believe. How much HP does small Articuno have? It has 100, I thought, right? Or does it have 120? Because I think it still gets KO'd, 1 hit KO'd by a Pikachu, right? So that's sort of my thought process, at least. Pincurchin also takes 2 energies instead of 120. Okay, all right. So yeah, I mean, it is a bit more for sure. 3 energies on the Articuno to use that attack. Yeah, I mean, I can see it, right? I can see it. I don't know. It's a good question. This Parasect scares me, I'm not gonna lie. So I am going to Sabrina. Well, he's just attacking us anyway, isn't he? It's probably best for us to just go get the damage off. We don't really care if we get KO'd here, right? That's the reality of it. We're gonna bench this Zapdos. Yeah, it doesn't get a 1 hit KO'd by Pikachu, so that's good. I mean, that's certainly an upside. That's definitely an upside. So it really just comes down to, would you rather have sort of a longer ranged deck? The thought process with this deck was that it's easy to sort of set up Pincurchin and then you kind of use it to stall out, where it's not necessarily the strategy to like win the game, right? I think if you're playing that Articuno deck, you're definitely relying on Misties to some degree to get the energies up on that Articuno. You do have more HP, so you can kind of just use it as like a general attacker, right? And you can kind of, there we go, with the paralysis. And you can kind of just sort of live off of that. Raphael, oh, it's only 100 HP. Yeah. So with 100 HP, your water type instead of electric type just has much better coverage in terms of hitting for damage. It's also 1 less energy. I don't know. You do have access to Misties, so it's interesting, I think, for sure. I think it kind of comes down to whether you would rather use like the big Articuno EX or Zapdos EX, and which one you would rather attack with. The thing with Zapdos is that it is a really strong attacker. It's just technically like a lot of times awkward to get 3 energies on Articuno or on Zapdos EX, because like typically you're playing it with Pikachu EX. You would rather just attach those energies to Pikachu EX. Whereas with this deck, like, you have so much time. Like, look how many turns this game has gone on. You know what I mean? So we have time to like just set up Zapdos's, and Zapdos's attack, Thundering Hurricane, is exceptionally strong. And that's the real upside with this deck. Whereas I feel like with Articuno, there's just not as much payoff. We just keep flipping heads. There's just not that much payoff with, I think now we actually just go into our Zapdos just to go for the game. There's no point in dragging this out any longer. I think it basically, there should be a higher payoff with Zapdos, basically, is what it comes down to. And as you can see, just like that. And that, my friends, is the most annoying deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket. I really mean it. It really is the most annoying deck. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that guy, I don't even know what that guy was thinking. He must be that game went on forever, and he just wasn't even able to play half the time. That was ridiculous. I love this deck. I think it's super funny. But if you want to know more about this deck, if you want to see the full video on the most annoying deck of all time, definitely go check it out. It's an absolute, it's a doozy because it's fun to play. You know, I mean, if you're trying to win games consistently, like, yeah, like there's probably other decks that I would play, if I'm being honest with you. But overall, it's extraordinarily fun. There's the link to it down in the chat. Definitely go check out the video, guys. But it's getting late. It's 12:30 p.m. for me. It's past midnight. We've been streaming for almost 2 hours, and I've had a good time. I have had a great time. So I think we're gonna end the live stream. But shout out to everybody who's watching. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I had a great time, and yeah, thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a great time. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. More videos will be coming in the future. Oh, someone said wait, I'll wait. Raphael, you subscribed. Thank you so much. Cohen, sleep well. You as well, my man. Guyper, what's going on? Best deck for event? Are you asking? Is that a question? Is that what? What do you want a question? We have. I mean, I said we're gonna leave. We have so many people in here. The best deck for the tournament right now, I think it depends. So if you're trying to win a tournament, in fact, you don't really want the most consistent deck. You want the deck that has the ability to win any matchup. And I think that Charizard with Moltres and Arcanine is actually probably the best deck to win a tournament. However, if you're trying to win the most games, like on average, if you're trying to have the highest average win rate, I would say play Pikachu EX with Raichu. Really, any Pikachu variant is very consistent and is very strong. So Pikachu with Zapdos and whatever else you kind of want to run with it. But yeah, does that make sense? Does that make any sense to you? There's a reason why like Charizard and Mewtwo win a lot of tournaments, and that's just because they have the ability to win any matchup if they draw well, right? If they get lucky, and that's kind of how those decks work. You know what I mean? Definitely subscribe it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate the subscription. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, we'll I don't even know. I never know how to end videos or end live streams, so I'm just gonna end it. I'm just gonna turn it off. And yeah. All right, bye guys. See you later. Bye.